Hello and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. I'm back. I hope that you're there. I'm trying to put the chat on because I can't see if anybody's there or not. And it's not visible, so I have no idea what's going on. That's strange. Well, this is a great start, isn't it? Oh, hang on. No, I can see something. Ah, hello. I can see Casabear. Hello, Casabear. And Martin and Mandy, and I'm going to have to, just bear with me, I'm going to have to get this on the screen because otherwise I'm not going to be able to see it. Please talk amongst yourselves while the host messes around with the shite. Because she can't work out. Do you know what? I can't remember how to use this. So it's not great, is it? It's not very professional. But I can't get that to work. So, well, that's unfortunate. I did test this before, right? And I had the chat on the screen, but now it's not showing. And I don't know why that is. So, just a minute. I'll just muddle on with it one more time. And then if I can't sort it, we're going to have to do without it. Am I imagining this, or did something happen like this last time I used this? Oh no, hang on, what is that? Something very strange is going on here. Right, let's turn that one off. How are you doing anyway while I try and sort this out? I hope you're well. Oh, hang on, I think I might be able to put that over there. I've got a screen with things moving around on it, so just bear with me. And yes, I think I've sorted it. I can see Linda and Mandy, and I can see Gav and Brittany. Yes, I think I've sorted it. It's just started now. So if you've said hello further up, then I'm sorry that I missed you, but I didn't have it on the screen. It's sort of over there. I can't quite describe it. I don't have the vocab to describe what's happening, other than to say it's quite panicky when that happens. But anyway, thank you for being here. It's wonderful to see you. I hope that you're all well. It's been a tough time for me, as you will have probably heard, because I did put a whinge video out just to wallow and inform everybody of my woes. Safe to say I wasn't feeling like bubbly and like I wanted to be like all smiley online, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to conserve my energy for like work things, because I really didn't feel like working either. And like, being single and self-employed has many benefits, but paying all the bills yourself certainly isn't one of them. So if there's anybody interested in a completely strings attached one-sided relationship, which is pretty much just like financial exploitation, then hit me up on Facebook, because I'm ready for it now. But anyway, it's been a tough time, but I'm back. Gonna be maybe a little bit of a short one, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just gonna talk shite for too long, because like I've forgotten how to do this. Like literally, you've seen there, I forgot how to put things on the screen. And when I've forgotten how to do things, I normally just like run my mouth off and fill all the gaps. So it could go on longer than I imagined. But I was thinking I'll try and keep it short, because my one remaining dog, after the sad death of my other doggy, is downstairs. And it's like, it's just occurred to me that it's like the first time that she's actually been by herself since her mum Betty died on the 21st of September. So that was another thing that happened that wasn't great. Well, it was awful. But so it's the first time she's been by herself. So I thought, I said, I won't be long, Elsie Bear. She's Elsie Bear. And then I thought, next time I do this, I'm going to sort out Prism so that I can have like a dog cam, so I can keep checking on Elsie Bear downstairs to see how she is. So, hello, Mark. How are you doing? Hi, Anna. How are you? Awesome. Right, I hope you all enjoyed that wonderful full moon yesterday. It was a strange one because, well, it was for me, because it was the October moon is the hunter's moon, but also the harvest moon is generally in September. But because the September full moon was back at the beginning of September, this moon that's just happened yesterday and the day before was called the harvest moon, even though it's the hunter's moon, and that's because it was the closest to the autumn equinox, which is the pagan festival of Mabon, which was also my birthday. So it's that was called the harvest moon. So I don't know what if they expect us just to forget that there was a hunter's moon, or how that actually works. Is it just a harvest moon and the harvest moon, or do we just say there's no hunter's moon, or not? I don't know how it works. I don't know. I'm just got to move something out the way. Oh, no, that's not. I'm just gonna not touch things. I have new lights. Look behind me. I put new lights up to cheer myself up, but that was like sort of, it didn't work, because when I look like this, those little lights behind me, not the blue ones, I thought blue is like, it's so unflattering. I tell you what, I'm going to get bright pink lights, okay? So these ones, when I look at them, they're bright pink, and they took me half an hour of energy today to put them up ready for tonight. I was so excited. And then, like, literally, I put the camera on and I was like, well, that's shite, isn't it? Because they just look like white. So I'm not happy with those. Like, what I might get is, well, when I can afford it, is one of those. Have you seen the great big long bright pink UV light things that people use? Like, I just think it's a warm color, isn't it? It's sort of better than that blue. Hi cats, how are you? Better than that blue. Is just like, I thought, that's probably like quite a miserable light, and I need to have a lifted mood. So that was my thinking behind that. Anyway, I told you I was going to be blethering on because I don't know what I'm doing. I totally can't remember how this even works or what I'm supposed to say. Let's give it a go. I should have thought about this before I came online, but if I think things through and like what I'm going to say, generally it all comes out back to front, and I end up like not being able to speak at all. So I just thought I'll just raw dog it and just go in there and sit down. And here I am just like chatting shit because I've forgotten how to do everything. Let's give it a go though. Okay, stick around with me for the next hour or so, and we're going to do a collective tarot reading, which could be directed at you, or it could be a more overarching reading, which applies to people in general around you. We'll then do the infamous 12 but 24 card, 2-card, pick a card reading. We still haven't found a good name for that. KLG actually had a name for it, and I can't remember what it was. It could have been the 24 card double pickup. I can't remember. But what we do there is you pick a number between 1 and 12. I lay down 12 pairs of cards and then read them in random order, and hopefully that is a message for you from the universe. If you're looking for some specific advice, you might want to focus on that. Also, if you're wanting to get some advice today, what you might want to do is spend some time like clearing your mind, or hello Just Shah. I called you KLG before. Don't know whether I should call you Just Shah or KLG. So yeah, clear your mind, light a candle, light some incense, take this special time. I would say like relax, but I guess that my little Geordie nip voice really isn't conducive to relaxing. So maybe it's just turn off the sound and then you can just watch me jumping around like this, because I had to have coffee. I had to have coffee because I wasn't feeling too good earlier on. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to cancel. And I thought, I cannot cancel. The show must go on. I will lie here on the settee trying to recoup my energy. And when that didn't work, I thought I will drink the espresso and try and fabricate some energy, which is what I did. So without further ado, now that I have talked crap for 9 minutes and 16 seconds, we shall move into drum roll please, the collective reading. So as I said, this could be directed at you with laser point precision, or perhaps it won't be. Perhaps it's about somebody else. Perhaps it's a more overarching. I used to think this was like, like sort of world events type of thing, like the general weather of the universe. But then people contacted me and were like, oh my goodness, that was so directed at me. And I thought, who am I to impose what I think this reading is? So be open-minded. Might be for you, might be like the general weather of the universe, okay? Perhaps world events. Let's go for it. Okay. Right, see if I can shuffle the cards without dropping them. I have been shuffling them before I came on air. Right, okay, I'm going to put down 3 cards. I'm going to read them. That is so funny. And so is that. And I'll tell you why in a second. And the 3rd card, which isn't funny. So, the reason that I'm laughing is because, right, just before I came on air, I was like, God, I can't even remember how to read tarot anymore. Like, I feel a bit rusty. And like, there's a couple of cards that I've always found, like, I get them mixed up with each other because they've got quite similar meanings. Hi, Lulabelle, how are you? And Deanne, how are you doing? So these 2 cards have got quite similar meanings. And so I was like panicking before I came on. I was like, God, hang on, I'll Google this card and that card just to like get it straight in my head, because like for some reason they always trip me up. What were those cards? They were the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Wands, which is the first 2 cards that come out the deck. And do you know, I always say my tarot deck have got a sense of humor. Like, this happens all the time. I'll say something and like, and the cards will give me it. Or if I ask the same question twice, they'll give me something completely daft, you know? It's like, they literally just have a sense of humor. And this is my cards having a sense of humor, because these are the exact 2 cards that I Googled because I was like, oh my God, can I remember how to read tarot? What are those 2 cards? Oh, they always trip me up. And it was these 2. I mean, how much more proof do you need that tarot are conscious? So the reason that these cards trip me up, or that they used to, until I got swished with tarot, and then having had 6 weeks off, I was like, but the reason that they sort of, sometimes I get them confused, is because they're both about competition. But there's a difference, right? Both are about competitiveness. Competitive, is that a word? Competition, competitiveness, competitiveness. That, they're both about that. This one, the 5 of Wands, is like, it's about competition, but it's when you're in the competition. So if you imagine, look at that. That is like loads of people, loads of kids, in fact, hitting each other with sticks. The relevance of them being children is that it's like not a massive conflict. It's like when kids fight with each other when they're playing. It's like they're vying for position. Yeah. They're trying to establish a pecking order. They're trying to sort of one-upmanship against each other. And that's what this card means. It can be like conflict, competition. Oh, I've just got a massive wave of nausea from drinking coffee. If I turn the camera off, it means that I'm puking in the bin down there. I'll try not to. So this card is like competition, but it's like competition amongst your peers, okay? But then this card, this is competition. But the difference with this card is that you see how this guy is standing defending his position. This is like, he's made it to the top of the pack. So this is when they're vying for position, right? Pecking order. And this is when you've got to the top of the pack and you're defending your position against competition. So you see the subtle difference with those 2 cards, and then you'll understand why these are 2 that sometimes trip me up. And like, this is why I Googled these 2 cards, and here they are. So in the context of our collective reading, I don't want to make this a me train, but I'm going to anyway. This is for me. It's all about me. But it is funny, isn't it, how I Googled these 2 cards and here they are. But if we're looking at them as a collective reading, okay, we're looking at a perhaps it's a period where this is one contextual reading of them. Perhaps it's a period where what's that 3rd card? Yeah. Perhaps it's a period where there was competition for you to reach to achieve something, to get to a certain position. So you were in the pool of piranhas for a while, sort of. Oh, there's my dog, singular, barking. She sounds so lonely. Just one dog barking rather than 2. Half the noise, double the heartbreak. Gosh, I should do adverts. So you might have been in the piranha pool, vying for position. Then you've got to the top, and now I feel like you're being challenged, okay? But it feels like there's various things that you could do. Now, The third card was the Four of Cups. Now, when you look at that card, check out the illustration on that baby. And what you've got there, that woman's sitting with her back against a tree, and she's sort of like, woe is me, I'm so bored, like, nothing's exciting me anymore. And then there's that cup being handed to her. There's like a hand literally coming out of the clouds going, ah, have a cup. And she's like, nah, can't be asked. So it's like, it feels like you're in a position where you're defending yourself from attack. And I don't mean that as in physical attack. It's like people trying to get what you have. But I feel like you might have become quite complacent there, and you're missing something as well because you're too used to being on the defensive now. I feel like there's something that you're overlooking. Okay, so if this reading is directed at you, if you're the person that's fought your way through the pit here, got to the top, you're being challenged, you're standing there like, do not cross this line. What is it that's right behind you that you haven't seen, which is actually something which you might enjoy or which might make you happy? Okay, but I feel like you might have shut yourself down a little bit, and that reminds me of the Nine of Wands, because that's the wounded soldier, and it's like defending yourself, those walls around your heart. We've almost got that there. It's like you're missing something. Have a look around. Interesting collective reading, or I thought it was, and here I am using that adjective, interesting, again. I keep using it all the time. Nothing has changed in 6 weeks. I still keep saying that word all the time, and now I've made the mistake of trying to move something on the screen and everything's just gone crazy. We're just going to leave it there. Right, so that was your collective reading. I hope you enjoyed it. How are you doing in the chat? Are you all happy this evening? I hope so. It's strange actually being on in the evening, because I was on in the morning for a while, wasn't I? And I changed it to the evening because I thought, why did I change it to the evening? I can't remember. It was in part because there's a lot of you who come from the States, and obviously being on in the morning, it would be like the middle of the night or whatever over there. So I thought, well, if we can find a free slot when none of our friends are on in the evening, it would be nice to be on in the evening. The downside of that is that I'm a morning person and tend to run out of energy by, let's be honest, 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's doubly hard to maintain that sort of effervescence needed to get my words out in the right order. Not saying that I'm getting my words out in the right order tonight, but, you know, I'm trying. I am trying. Right, Mandy. Mandy wasn't up modding at 7 a.m. I thought that says nodding. I thought it says nodding. I haven't got my glasses on. I was like, nodding? But it's modding. I get you. I'm pleased that you're right. All right, Lulabelle, that's grand. Okay, right, we're going to do the 24 pairs of cards, pick up, no, it's 12. 12 pairs of cards, 24 card, pick up. That, we're going to do that. So I'm going to do this. One moment, please. I'm going to do this. I've remembered how to do this. Look. Da, da, da. Right, so we've got that on. We'll just give these an extra shuffle and we'll do a little riffle. I still, in my time away, I should have put my days to good use, shouldn't I? And learnt how to do a proper riffle shuffle rather than just half a riffle, a riff shuffle. Oh, yes, just sharp. It isn't just the caffeine. I am happy to be back. I just like, you know, it's like I can be happy and silent, but obviously that's not going to work for YouTube. So I needed that extra boost, hence the caffeine. But it's like when you take caffeine when you're actually quite tired, it sort of makes you a bit. So if I seem a bit wired, that's why. Right. Okay. Let's lay these cards down. Okay, clear your mind, clear your mind. Focus on receiving a message from the... Oh, we've got a fly. Hello, fly. Right, I digress. I'm going to digress because that's really weird, right? I've never had a fly in here before. That's not what's weird though. What is weird, weirdish, is that this afternoon I spoke to Ruby. Now Betty, my dog that died, was actually Ruby's dog. She got Betty on her 10th birthday and she's now 21. Betty was 11. We can do maths. So she was gutted. I mean, absolutely devastated, as we both were. And she rang me today and she was like, Mum, I think Betty has been reincarnated as a fly. I was like, what? And she said, oh, I was in this cafe reading my book. She's like just finished university, so she does these things like goes in a cafe to read a book. I don't know why I associate that with going to university, but it's just a studenty thing, isn't it? It's like, you can imagine having a cafe and you're like somebody's student sitting there for hours on end with one coffee reading a book. You'd be like, get out. But anyway, she went to this cafe reading a book and she was like, and this fly kept like banging into the mirror next to me and then like was landing on me. And then I think she went back home to her place and like the fly was there again and then it flew into her room and then landed on her or something like this, and she's convinced that like Betty has been reincarnated as a fly. And I was like, well, don't swap the fly then. And that's really weird because it's just like a big fly just flew in here. So maybe Betty has been reincarnated as a fly, which is quite savage, really, isn't it? I mean, a butterfly, yeah, but like a fly, really, Betty? Is that what you could manage? I mean, come on. Perhaps a unicorn. A unicorn would be great. Right. Anyway, that was my digression. So I need to move this. I'm not going to move anything because I'll just end up messing around and ruining stuff. You know, when you just think, I'll just tweak that. It's working, but I'll tweak it. It could be better. And then you just totally knack it. Like, that's why I'm not going to touch that. Right. One more little riffle shuffle and then we're going to go on and do the 24 card, 12 piles pick up. I need a jingle. Okay. Right. Let's get these cards down. Do we put them that way up or that way up? I can't remember. Oh, we do them this way up, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't see if they're on the screen, so I've got something on my screen in front of it, which I don't want to move in case I ruin everything. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we go around again. I remember that bit. Now, am I going to have the mental agility to read them in pairs? I hope so. We shall see. I can always just make it up, couldn't I? Right. Let us see what we have here. Oh, didn't I normally like have that screen on when I was doing that? Yes, probably. Okay, I will get back into this. Bear with me. This is why I'm only streaming on YouTube tonight, because I thought, damage limitation. Let's just stream to one platform. And then if you really cock it up, then it's just like not many people have seen. So let's go we'll go for number 12. Straight up to the top. What do we have? Tarot cards and universe. Okay. Right. We've got the 5 of Cups and we've got the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So what could these cards mean? Now, always remember, I'm going to say it again. I always say it. Tarot is generic. Okay, I'm not going to go. This means that your Auntie Sue has left you some money in the will, but something is going to happen in probate. It's going to take you a while to get that money, but don't worry, it'll come to you. That is way too specific. Okay. If you go to see a tarot reader and they say that, ask them how they know that, because they would have to be using more than tarot reading to do that. That would be clairvoyant, yeah, but that's sometimes reading cards isn't clairvoyant. Sometimes you're just reading cards. Sometimes you get visions as well, but you ain't getting that from the cards, yeah? The cards are generic. The cards give you dots and you have to join them. What was it Mr. Steve said? We give you the crayons, you have to draw the picture. I like that one. So, anyway, I'm talking like this because I can't remember what these cards mean. No, I can. Right. 5 of Cups. This is leaving something behind. It feels like you're having to leave something behind in order to move forward, okay? And it's associated with financial security and sort of feeling secure domestically. I feel like the time has come when you're going to have to walk away from something. You're going to have to draw the line underneath something. And it could be that that thing is a person, because cups, emotions, we're emotionally attached to people. Hello, Sam, how are you? It could be that the time has come for you to realise that somebody or something is a drain on you financially, domestically. Something's just not working on that domestic front. So it could be that this thing is a person, it could be a circumstance, okay? But it feels like when you see that Ten of Pentacles like that, upside down, it's like instability financially, because when it's up that way, that's a great card for finances. And it's like, this is about family inheritances. That's where I got the Auntie Sue analogy from. This is like inherited money in that. When it's upside down, it tends to mean more of it like losing money, sort of a financial situation that's gone wrong. Okay, so it feels like you have to leave something behind in order to stop this from happening. It's like, imagine this. Somebody that you really like asked you if they could move into your house about 6 months ago, and you were like, yeah, while you get yourself back on your feet, just move in. And then they move in, right? And they never pay you anything, they never offer you anything, they eat all the cornflakes, they don't do the washing up, you know, they just like sit around all day watching TV while you're cleaning and working, and they're just like, they need to go. Yeah, this would be this situation. Yeah, it would be like you need to walk away from them, or you need to leave them behind in order for this financial situation, this domestic situation to improve. So that is clearly a very literal example, but that's the sort of thing that we're looking at here. So if you've chosen, grammatically, I'm not great, am I? If you picked number 12, think about how these cards might fit in with your life circumstance. What is it that you need to draw the line under, or walk away from, or put to bed in order to improve your finances, in order to improve your domestic security, like to keep things what is right for you? Sorry, I just lost track there because I'm reading the chat. I've got 2 chats on now, so it's even more distracting. Thank you so much, mods, for doing all the sharing of the websites and things like that. That's awesome. So that is number 12. So move away from something or kick it into touch. And, you know, maybe you're being over generous. This could be this situation as well. Maybe you need to rein it in a little bit, and to, you know, some people are just naturally really generous, and some people just naturally take advantage of that, don't they? Like my literal example of the person who would move in and just never offer any sort of, you know, financial help. I've experienced that, and it's like, the person actually said, well, me living here, I mean, it doesn't mean that you're paying more on your bills, does it? And like, A, yeah, it probably does, because this person spent more time in the bath than anybody I've ever known. And B, that's not really the point, is it? It's like, why would one person have to pay for everything while the other person paid for nothing? Like, but anyway, not that I'm bitter. I am bitter. Right, that was number 12. Right, we're going to go back down to the bottom. Bottom of the pile. We're going to go for number 1. Be good cards. We have reasonable cards, but powerful cards. We've got the Empress, good card. We've got Temperance reversed, dodgy card. What do these cards mean, or what might they mean? Okay, right. Let's start with Temperance reversed. Okay, so what we have here is, it's a bit chaotic, right? And this is number 1. So if you picked number 1, there could be a sense of chaos around you. There could be a need for moderation. The Temperance angel, let's put them the right way up for now. This angel is all about self-control, moderation. Can be about overcoming addictive behaviours. She actually has, she's pouring water from one cup to the other, and she has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the earth. That is to signify how in control of her emotions she is. That's the pouring of the water, the sharing and the moderation of things. And 1 foot on the water, 1 foot on the earth. It's like she's connected to the practical, but also the emotional. So she's not ruled by her heart or her head. She's got everything in balance. It's all about balance and moderation with temperance. But tip her upside down and the water pours forth from her cups and goes all over the floor. And it gets a bit chaotic. When you see this card this way up, it can mean that there is chaos. It can also mean that you're overindulging in something. Could be the booze, could also be just as easily something energetic, because we can overindulge in things like habits, can't we? Like, hello, watching too much Netflix, or like wallowing in self-pity like I've been doing, or, you know, there's all sorts of things that you can overindulge in. And when you see this card, it's a sort of tap on the back of the head to right yourself, to start to look at where your balance is out. Did somebody just send me $30? Thank you so much. Who is that? Oh, it's Sam. Thank you so much, Sam. I was like, I've just seen something great on the screen. Thank you so much, darling. That's lovely. Awesome. Look, I can't stop smiling now. Totally distracted. So this is the need to redress that balance, to get yourself back on kilter. And sometimes it's like, I think of it as we've just gone past the autumn equinox, haven't we, Mabon? And that's when the sun and the day and the night are of equal length at the equinox. And it's like, that is the perfect balance, isn't it? And it's like temperance asks you to maintain that. We need the balance. We need the light. We need the dark. We need the light and dark. It's no good saying to yourself, I'm such a love and light person. That's all I'm ever going to be, is full of light and love. Because you'll just get sick of it, right? People will piss you off and you'll end up being like full of darkness anyway. Unless you're like really, really saintly. If you are really, really saintly, put a 1 in the chat. But in general, we need to accept that shadow part of ourselves, don't we? And accept the fact that there are some things that we're really good at, and there are some things that we're really shite at. Or sometimes we're a really good person, and sometimes we're a real arsehole. Yeah? And just like accept and integrate. Integrate, that's the word that I'm looking for. Integrate that feeling of acceptance. It's self-acceptance, isn't it? Because I think one of the most destructive emotions that you can have is shame. And so many of us are filled with shame about like something that we did in 1989, you know, or something that we said to somebody last week on a bus that we'll never ever see again, just because they said hi and we went and like couldn't answer them properly because we were full of nerves or something. You know, it's like this sense of shame that follows us around. And I sometimes think if we could shed that shame, we would shine so much brightly, because it's like a dark overcoat that covers you. So, gosh, I really am digressing, aren't I? So, temperance upside down is looking at chaos. We're looking at chaos. We're looking at a need to redress the balance. Think about maybe integrating, balancing, accepting yourself for who you are. Because, what we have next to this card is the Empress. Now, the Empress is pretty much the opposite of temperance upside down. The Empress is self-assured, creative. She doesn't suffer from a negative self-image, but she's not egotistical. She knows her worth. She is the creator, the nurturer, the person that brings forth new life. It's a card of fertility if anybody's like looking to be fertile. But we don't have to be. Just because we've seen the Empress doesn't mean that we have to start having children. But we can give birth to new things, like creatively, new projects, new ideas, new art things, new music things, projects, I should say. So the Empress is all about creating the new, and she holds like a sort of, what is it, a sepal, what are those things, a ball on a stick, what are they called? I want to say Sepultura, but that's like a heavy metal band, isn't it? It's a ball on a stick. She holds a ball on a stick because she's like Yeah, I am the bomb. Yeah, she's like the queen of all queens, right? So this is why I'm saying, this is what got me talking about shame with temperance upside down. It's like these two cards together are like, bury that shame, put your crown back on, and be not the queen that you were supposed to be, but the queen of queens. Be the empress who rules over all queens, okay? It's like, have that self-confidence of this beautiful creator, the person that brings life and creativity to everything around her, okay? Remember what you're good at and then do that, is the message from this card. Forget what you're bad at. We've all got things that we're bad at, and we could all be assholes sometimes as well, okay? So don't dwell on it. You are the empress. Okay, right. That was number 1. Where should we go next? I think we'll go to card number 2, please. Card number 2, or cards number 2. 9 of Swords, Nightmare card, and Strength. Excellent card. Let's have a look. What do these mean? When I say Nightmare card, I don't mean like, oh my God, that's a bad card. 9 of Swords is actually a nightmare card. Have a look at this woman in her bed, lying with her hands on her head with lots of swords over her. She's literally having a nightmare. This card is about anxiety, stress, nightmares, just like feeling awful. And it's like she's been kept awake at night by these thoughts and worries. Gosh, that's been me the last few nights. I'm a terrible sleeper, but when I'm worried, like, you know, like, why don't we lie awake at 3 a.m, like thinking about how wonderful we are and all the beautiful things that we've done in life? Yeah. Why is it at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep, you're literally lying there beating yourself up about every single bad decision and bad choice you've ever made? Like, what is that about? Like, why can't we just lie there like, yeah, shit, I'm great. Yeah. Nobody does that, do they? We just lie there feeling like sorry for ourselves and like giving ourselves a hard time. And that's what's going on here. Okay. This is anxiety. So this would say to me, what was the other card? Yes. This would say to me that if you chose number 2, you're going through a hard time. And it feels like it's getting too much. Okay. Now, this is where this card comes in. Now, first of all, this is a major arcana card, which means that it trumps the 9 of Swords. So although the 9 of Swords is a strong card, strong energy, it's a 9, it's a nightmare card. Because it's a 9, it's also coming to the end of a cycle. Yeah. Excuse me. It's like also almost over. When you see this card come up, it usually means that the crest of the nightmare has been broken. It's like you're coming out the other side of it. Cats. I've just seen that question. Oh, I haven't used that company. There's nothing on the shelf behind me. So the nightmare has crested. Yeah, it's like when a fever breaks. It's like this time is coming to an end. And then beautifully, beautifully paired with this card, we've got the Strength card. Now, this card Strength isn't about the brute strength of, say, the Chariot, for example, which is like a driving force. This is inner strength. And when you see this card often comes up when you're having a hard time, but it's like reminding you of the inner strength that's got you where you are today and telling you just keep going. I know that's really crap, isn't it? When you've had a bad time, you want a tarot card that says, just wait a minute, everything's going to stop. You're going to win the lottery and you're going to meet the man of your dreams. And like, this is going to happen and you're going to like fall into a bed of roses tomorrow. You don't want someone to go, oh, just keep going, because it's like, oh, it's so cliched, isn't it? But it's actually really beautiful, because this card points to the fact that what you need to get through the hard time has always been within you. You've always had that inner strength. You can do this. Yeah. It's like a pat on the back, but not in a patronizing way. It's trying to say, everything that you need to get through this is within you already. You don't need anybody else. You don't need any other resources. You don't need anything else to happen. Like, you don't need to win the lottery. It would be nice. It's already there. okay? And your inner strength is magnificent. And it's magnificent because look at this card. Look at the illustration. This is a woman who is opening the jaws of a lion simply by tickling his face. Yeah, she's not wrenching his jaws open and sticking a broom in there to like keep his mouth open. She's actually just gently tickling the lion, and he's just opening his mouth because he understands that she has his best interests at heart and she's not going to harm him. And it's her inner strength, it's her confidence, it's her abilities, it's her self-awareness that she can do this. She can open the jaws of the lion just by softly, softly, softly tickling. It's like, what's that saying? Softly catches monkey or something like that. I forget what the saying is. But it means like when you just do something gently but persistently, you get what you want out of it. So you're having a hard time. You will get through this because the resources that you need are already within you, and there's no reason to push like through this. You don't need the brute strength to do this. Just have the confidence that what you're doing is gently moving you in the right direction. Okay, I like that. I like number 2. That was grand. Where should we go next? We shall go to cards number 11, please. Cards number 11. What do you have for us? Wallop. Oh, this is tricky. Who chose number 11? I saw somebody had chosen number 11 before. I think it might have been Deanne. Was it Deanne? Interesting. I don't know if it was you, Deanne. Let me know. Right, this is a tricky pair of cards indeed. What do they mean? Let's have a look. Right. Yeah, right. Again, this could be, right, I get sort of worried when cards come up like this and I just see something straight away, because if you think about, each card has so many different meanings, and then like when you put two cards together, obviously then you've got even more meanings. I mean, I don't know, I don't do maths at all, math if you're in America, because like I just can't get my head around numbers. But like the amount of possibilities of 78 cards in pairs, the amount of potential like interpretations is just vast, isn't it? It's just endless. The odds are huge. But so I sort of don't like it when I see something really specific, because you want to go, oh, that means that. Because there are loads of different meanings for these 2 cards. Okay, so I think I'm going to settle on 2 meanings. Okay, first of all, the first one that came into my head, and this is the obvious thing that really sprung out for me here. We'll start with this card, this 2 of Cups. I want to say 2 of Hearts. 2 of Cups reversed. Now, this is quite self-evident. If you look at the illustration, the 2 of Cups is one of the cards of the tarot deck. This is about partnerships and harmonious partnerships. It's about 2 entities coming together in love, and it's like, it's a marriage card, it's a relationship card. It would mean like if you were going into business with somebody, then it was like you were really well matched. It's like 2 things in harmony together, 2 things that are supposed to be together. All right. So when you see this upside down, okay, it's generally like disharmony, breakups, 2 people splitting up, arguments between partners, and that sort of thing. You get the gist of it, yeah? Now, this card, the 7 of Swords, is sneaky. This is look at this guy. He has nicked these swords and he's hot-footing it away with the swords that he has stolen. I used to call this the burglar card. Okay, it's sneaky, it's underhand. So the first thing that sprung into my mind here was the breakup of a relationship caused by somebody sneaking around. Okay, that's a very, very literal explanation. Probably interpretation. That's a very, very literal interpretation of these cards. But that could be what this is. The breakup of a relationship caused by some underhanded deceit, okay? However, this is why when I don't want to say things like that, because somebody's like, right, I'm leaving you because you're going with somebody behind my back. But it's like, the cards aren't set in stone. And always remember, destiny is not set in stone. As far as I'm aware, every decision that you make changes your destiny. So when you do tarot cards, you get a snapshot of nowness, okay? What's most likely to happen now, given the circumstances of now. But you can change that, yeah? I believe you can. Other people believe differently, okay? But I believe you can change that. So, anyway, back to the cards. So, that is a literal explanation. The breakup of a relationship caused by somebody sneaking around. However, we could also look at this in a different way, okay? Because this, although this is a sneaky card, it's also about scheming. And scheming isn't necessarily negative, is it? Scheming can be quite a positive thing. It could be a positive thing if you were, for example, in business. It might be good that you're a scheming person because, you know, it's like being able to make schemes. And, you know, when we say scheming, it always sounds so negative, but it's actually like, it's a skill, isn't it? It's like being able to work out how to do things and like plan ahead, that sort of thing. So it could be that there's going to be a parting of ways with somebody or a business or something like that. And what you need to do is start to make plans and to scheme how to get past this breakup as such. So it might not be to do with a love relationship breaking down. This is what I'm trying to get to. It could be about something different. Because this is cups, usually is like emotions involved there. So if it was, for example, a business breakup, it would be one that you were emotionally invested in. So it would be one that you were sort of, you know, that you put your heart into. So you still feel that. I'm just reading what Sam's put there. It's 5:45 a.m. Where on earth are you, Sam? Are you in Australia? I think you are, aren't you? Yes. So we've got the breakup of something, and we've got sneakiness, or we've got schemingness. Now, the other way that you can interpret this card, I said I was going to give you two explanations, but I'm just going to add a little bit of a nuance here. This can also be, you can also see this card when you need to sort of put yourself first. It's when you need to like think for you first and decide what's best for you to do first, before you put somebody else first. So another sort of explanation could be there's a breakup or there's a parting of ways literally on the cards, and you need to put yourself first or move away from somebody. Perhaps it's like you're involved with a personal situation that isn't doing you much good, so you need to put yourself first and make plans, scheme how you're going to move away from it. Okay? And no, don't say interesting cards. Fascinating cards these are, with lots of interpretations. But I think sometimes you just need to get the energy of the cards, and then you work out how it fits in with your life. When I'm doing one-to-one readings with people, like, my rule is always, I think, right, don't try and make sense of what you're seeing, just say it. And like, sometimes you see the most ridiculous things, and you say it, and they're like, oh my God, yeah, that's completely right. This is this. And then he said this and that happened. And you're like, right. Now it's so obvious. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. You sort of get the energy and then you just present it. All right. Talking of one-to-one readings, if you had booked one with me over the last 6 weeks, I would have refunded you and cancelled it. But I am putting some more slots back on the website so that I can start to do readings again. Now my energy is building. So that was number 11. Lots of sneakiness, or perhaps scheminess, or perhaps planning going on there. Where are we going to go next? We're going to go to number 3. Number 3, what do you have for us? Oh, I'll just knock the cards all over. Oh, not sure that I'm particularly fond of these cards. We've got a Page of Pentacles reversed, and we've got a Ten of Cups reversed. Right, what do these cards mean? Right, Page of Pentacles reversed can often mean upsets at work, unemployment, making an arse of something at work, getting something wrong to do with work, or perhaps a message about work or money which isn't what you wanted to hear, okay? Pages can be messengers. They can also be, they can also indicate a youthful exuberance, a childlike attitude towards something. And because this is Pentacles, it's talking about finances or work. So when we see this reversal, it could be a cock up at work, it could be a negative message about work or money, or it could be you being immature about a financial or work situation, or just not sort of being aware of all the facts, okay? Sort of maybe you're just being a bit like naive and just plunging into something. That sounded a bit rude, didn't it? Maybe you're being a bit naive and jumping into something rather than sort of hanging back and making sure that you've got all your facts right, okay? So that's the energy of that card. Now, this is what annoys me. This card, the Ten of Cups, when it's up that way, this is probably one of the happiest minor arcana cards in the deck because it's about emotional fulfillment. A 10 is the end of a cycle. It's like when you wake up that morning and you're on the beach and you're looking out and you've got the love of your life sitting next to you and the kids are playing and cats and dogs playing in the surf. And you look out into the sun and you're like, this is what my life has been about. I finally come home. That's that card. When it's upside down, it's like you ain't getting that. Or you haven't got that. Or it's like you're not feeling that at the moment. So pairing these two cards together, this feels like a little bit of a warning. It's like whatever it is that's going wrong with this hand, with this page, okay, you need to write it because it feels like it has the potential to steer your life off course and to put something that you've really wanted to achieve, some kind of emotional fulfillment, I can't speak, some kind of emotional fulfillment out of your reach. Yeah. With this being a page, it's something that you can change, okay? I like to think of pages as quite malleable. So rather than like the king or the queen that are quite set in their ways, the page is like, it's like a softer energy. So yes, it feels like something's going wrong, but it feels like you can change that. So you can take this problem on, take the bull by the horns and sort it out, okay? But do so. Don't let this one ride. Is it ride? Don't let it ride or rise. Don't let it ride, I think is the saying. Don't let it carry on. Okay? Because it has the potential to upset your long-term apple cart. All right? When it comes to emotional fulfillment. So sort your life out, mate. That's what these two cards are saying. Right. Let us move on. Where should we go next? Hit that screen. We shall go to, we'll keep this symmetrical for now, I think. We'll go for number 10, please. Number 10, what do you have for us? Be good cards, be good cards. Nah. They're not great cards, I'll be honest with you. We've got the Hierophant reversed. And we have the 10 of Swords reversed. They're not great, but they could have been worse. We could have had the 10 of Swords that way up, which would have been potentially worse. So we'll take them. We'll take them. We're not going to put them back anyway, because even the negative messages of the tarot, always remember, have a positive slant for you, because forewarned is forearmed. Is that the saying? Forewarned is forearmed? I think it is. And it means that obviously, you know, this is one of the reasons why I don't get on with oracle cards as much, because oracle cards are all like, just like, yay, everything's great. Your angels love you. You're going to have the fabulous day. And it's like, that doesn't happen all the time, does it? You have a shit day, and then you're like, well, these oracle cards are wank, aren't they? Because, like, they just talk crap. And I get oracle cards are really nice for, like, getting a message, like, giving yourself some motivation and getting a message from spirit when you need it. And, like, but I think tarot have the nitty-gritty of, like, the grime of life. And, like, it does happen. Nobody just sails through life where every day is a good day. And imagine if you did that, no day would be a good day, because you wouldn't have the contrast of the shadow. We need the shadow to have the light, don't we? So we need the rubbish in order to appreciate the good. So I'm coming about this at the wrong way. Let me think. What am I trying to get to here? I'm just like going round and round in circles here. What I'm trying to say is, even the negative cards of the tarot, they're there for a reason, because we all experience them, and they have got messages of how to deal with things. Did I just say wank on YouTube? I did, didn't I? That's shocking. Right. Okay, so first of all, what should we do here? All right, first of all, we're going to go for the Ten of Swords reversed. Now, Ten of Swords is one of the cards that people generally fear in the tarot because, well, look at it. This poor guy's lying there with 10 swords stuck at him. It doesn't look like he's had a good day, does it? And he hasn't. But it basically, it's associated with accidents, illness, general horridness. When it's upside down, it can mean that this was the course that you might have been on, like heading towards an accident, a bad thing, an illness, a negative experience, but it's been averted, hence the reversal. It's like something has happened that's stopping this bad thing from happening, yeah? Now, this is where our upside down Hierophant comes in. Hierophant is all about structure, patriarchal society, hierarchies, organizations, rules. When he's up that way, he represents rules, churches, big organizations, the Masons, anything that's got a structured approach, tradition, the right way of doing something, the way that it's always been done, the path well trodden. When he's up that way, it's kicking back against tradition. It's doing something differently. It's taking a different path. You'd see this if you were like a hippie off to Marrakesh to find yourself, all right? You'd be taking an upside down Hierophant path, yeah? You're doing something which isn't the norm, yeah? You're kicking back against tradition, against the patriarchy, and we like to do that. So when I say these two cards together, it's like, in order to avoid a negative situation, you might have to approach something in a very different way. You might have to try something which isn't familiar to you, or you might have to go down a non-traditional approach. You might need to do something differently. Like, for example, now I'm going to use a literal example here, which is a bit scary, but I don't want you to panic, right? If you were having an illness, yeah, and the treatment wasn't working, right? And the illness was getting worse and worse, and it wasn't looking good for you, all right? If you got these two cards, this could mean like you needed to try an alternative treatment. You needed to try something new. You might want to try something, sort of holistic, something that isn't mainstream medicine, okay, in order to avert the doom of the Ten of Swords this way up. Do you see where I'm coming from? Okay. Obviously, I'm not saying that is what's happening to you, but that might be a literal example of how these cards could work. It doesn't have to be an illness. It could be, a situation in your life that is heading towards being something negative, and perhaps you need to flip what you normally do on its head to try something different in order to change this around, okay, in order to avert this. Okay. Hello, Pedro. How are you doing? And I still didn't learn how to pronounce that first name. I am sorry. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it down because I keep saying that, don't I? And then I just don't, because I think, oh, how is it spelled again? And then I don't. I will come back next time I'm on and I will pronounce your name. because it's so rude to call you Pedro. Right. So those are those two cards. Okay. Right, let's move on. Where are we going to go next? We're going to go for number 6. Number 6. What are you? What do you have for us? Oh, now that is interesting. I hope somebody's chosen number 6 because you've got a spicy life. This is the Ace of Cups and the Devil reversed. So what do these cards mean? And what do I mean by a spicy life? Okay. Ace of Cups, new relationships, new phases of current relationships, new ways of thinking about yourself, new approaches to your emotional identity, new ways of thinking about your sexuality or gender, new things that you feel something for, okay? But generally we go for Ace of Cups is new relationships, new phases of relationships. La Devil, okay? The Devil is about deviancy. Is about, well, look, this on the card, you see what we've got here? On that card, the illustration, these guys here are actually the two off the Lovers card, and they're chained to the Devil, okay, to represent the fact that they're chained by their self-imposed negative beliefs, but it can be like deviancy, repression, it can be it's sort of a physicality. When we see the Devil up this way, we're looking at like, it can be sexual deviancy, or like almost could be like trying new sexual things. Now, I say that because when we've got this new relationship, new phase of relationship card, teamed with this upside down Devil here, and I'm thinking, mon Dieu, indeed, cats, mon Dieu. Charlene, did you choose these cards? That's epic. So, somebody's in for a good night tonight. However, this is a very literal interpretation. Get thee to the nunnery. Indeed. That's a very literal interpretation. What we could also be looking at is a new phase where you let go of things that were holding you back, okay? Because the Devil isn't always about sexual deviancy, but I teamed those two together and gave you that because we've got the new relationship, new phase of relationship card, but it can be about things that have held you back. Remember, the Lovers are chained to this Devil, okay? And Stu watching. Hi, Stu. So it could be about finding a new phase of your life that enables you to leave behind the things that held you back. I don't even want to give you a second meaning. We're just going to leave it at that. That's funny. We're not even going to go through the second meaning. I'm not going to try and dig myself out of that hole. I'm just going to leave you with that first interpretation, and you can let us know tomorrow how that goes. Right, moving on. We have got, let's go for number 7. Number 7. What do we have? We have got the 8 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. So what do these cards mean? Right. Oh, what do they mean? I'm still thinking about the Devil and the Ace of Cups. I can't get my head past that. Right. Oh gosh, right. Think. Okay, right. 2 of Pentacles is about balance and achieving balance. 8 of Pentacles is about working really hard, going into a period of knowing that you've got to buckle down and do the work. It can be educational. The 8 of Pentacles I often associate with putting in hard work, learning something new, okay? But I feel like what we've got here is you need to achieve a balance between what you already know and what you need to know, Yeah, it feels like you've got to sort of be able to balance that. Do I need to know any more about a situation, or do I know enough about it? Can I move forward now? Can I go on with... I'm still struggling to actually get my words together after those last cards. The Eight of Pentacles is actually a portal card, and I say that because look, we have a door there. And that's because once this guy here gets all his pentacles carved, off he trots through that door and he powers up. So he like levels up as you do on a video game. Yeah, you level up to the next level up to the next stage. Yeah, you level up to the next stage. And I feel like what you need to do is, you know, sometimes like you start learning something and it just all goes sideways, because then you think, oh, I need to know that, and I need to know that, and I need to know that, and I need to know that. Oh, what about, I'll learn that and I'll do that. I can't go forward. I can't take on this new challenge until I know this, and I know this, and I know this, and I've got to learn this. It comes to a time where you've got to go, I know enough now. I'm going to go forward and through the door. So that's what I mean by finding that balance between what you already know and what you have to learn. Yeah, I feel like you have put a lot of work in. You've learned a lot about yourself or about something else, about somebody else, and now it's time to move forward. Go through the door. Know that you're in a position of balance. You've got those two plates spinning nicely. And it's time to move forward, because otherwise you can just always go outwards, can't you? And never actually forwards or upwards. Upwards, not outwards, yeah? Because you can just go for, like, I'm involved with a project at the moment, which is like, it's about creating a massive tapestry of Northumberland where I live, with the loads of WI clubs and Rotary clubs. And it's like, there is so much to it that we could spend like years in talks and meetings and preparation and learning, and how, oh, what kind of textile art are we going to use? Are we going to use embroidery? Are we going to use this? We're going to use that, because there's like 10 tapestry squares, each one being tackled by a different area of Northumberland, and like I'm trying to pull it all together for them. But it's like sometimes if you keep going outwards and looking at all the other possibilities and learning everything that there is to know, you're not going to move forward. Do you see my analogy? You've got to at some point go, right, that's enough. We know enough now. Let's move forward. And that's the kind of energy that I'm getting from these cards. It's like, balance what you know, what you need to know, move forward and go through the door. So I hope that makes sense to somebody. It made sense to me anyway, so... there we are. Right, let's go back to the screen. I can't look at those cards. We're turning the Devil and the Ace of Cups over, otherwise I'm not going to be able to concentrate. Now, where we're going next? We'll go to 1, 2, 3. We'll go to number 4. Cards number 4, please. What do you have for us, cards number 4? Oh, right. We've got two opposites, really. We've got a Queen of Swords, and we've got the Knight of Wands reversed. So what could these cards mean? Okay. Not always, but often when we've got court cards, they represent people. They don't have to represent people. They can represent circumstances, situations, but they often do represent people. Now, one interpretation of these cards could be this. Now, the Queen of Swords, swords is air, okay, the element air, which an air sign would be a Libra, a Gemini, an Aquarius, or somebody who has the skills and personality of those astrological signs. And that is somebody who's a good communicator, quite sharp, quite quick-witted, somebody who can balance a lot of things, somebody who speaks their mind, somebody who I'm reading the chat again, sorry. Somebody who can put their foot in it sometimes, but they don't hold back, basically, the Queen of Swords. But she can be quite dominating as well. She can hold her own, she can take control. Because this is the right way up. This is when Oh, I've got my elbow stuck on those cards. Just put I nearly knocked them on the floor. When I say this card this way up, I call it the bitch card because the Queen of Swords reversed can be a real bitch. This way up, we're looking at the good qualities of the Queen of Swords, which is that sharpness, but put to good use. So it's that communication and that sharp wit, but not used to hurt, used to lead rather than sort of dominate as such in a negative way. Yeah, somebody who can take control. The sort of negative side of the upright Queen of Swords, though, can be that she fails to see the fun in some things because she can be quite serious, I think, the Queen of Swords, because she's quite driven, like a type A. Is it type A personality? You know, like things have got to be done and they've got to be done right sort of thing. And that's why it's interesting that we've got the Knight of Wands reversed, who's galloped in upside down to say hello, because the Knight of Wands reversed is like the playboy. He's like the jet setter who, I don't know, inherited lots of money and just like jets around the world, spending it in casinos and on loose women. And I don't mean the show. Can you spend money on loose women, the show? I don't think so. But anyway, you get what I mean. So basically, we've got two opposites. So we've got somebody who's quite in control and knows what they're all about and speaks her mind. And we've got somebody who's very much sort of just in it for a laugh, is a real player, is sort of lives for the moment. Not necessarily always a good thing because they can come a cropper and they can drag other people down with them. It feels like they're the kind of person that, you know, can be quite superficial. Yeah. They're a fire sign. One's a fire, and that means like a Leo, a Sagittarius, or a, what's the other one? God, my head has just gone blank. Aries. So somebody who's very fiery, but it's like the one's fire with the Knight is like that sort of, I want to say floppy dog fire. It's like that whole, just sort of like a bit daft. You know, they're just like a party animal, but without much substance, not much going on between the ears. So these two are like polar opposites. So what might that mean as an interpretation? Well, I think for a start, it's about balance. If you're the Queen of Swords, if you're relating, if you chose number 4 and you're relating to my description of the Queen of Swords, this would mean like, okay, let's take on board the personality of the Knight of Wands reversed a little bit. You need to relax a little bit. You need to let your hair down a bit, perhaps. If you're relating more that you're the Knight of Wands reversed, if you're the playboy personality, perhaps you need to take on board some of the traits of the Queen of Swords and take yourself a little bit more seriously. Perhaps put some effort into organising things, taking control of your life, and stop sort of pissing it up against the wall, which would be sort of a night. I just said piss on YouTube as well, so I've said piss and wank tonight. I'll probably get banned. So these two are polar opposites, but they each have something to teach the other one. I think if you go too far either way, you end up in a negative position, don't you? Too far down the Queen of Swords route, you end up a bit cold. Too far down the Knight of Wands reversed route, and you end up too hot, don't you? You end up falling to bits, like melting, because you haven't got control of anything. So these are about balance. And they're about meeting that other half of yourself and accepting. Again, my key phrase for tonight is integration. Integrating those parts of your personality that feel more alien to you and accepting them. Yeah. Allow yourself to live in the role of a different person, like within yourself. Does that make sense? Try to be like, I used to do this because I hate flying, aeroplanes flying, not like flying in the astral, love that, but like hate aeroplanes. But I used to have to fly a lot for work, so I used to, whenever I got to an airport, I'd buy a new lipstick and sometimes new perfume. I earned better money at the time, and I'd actually, this is probably not very psychologically healthy, but I used to literally
imagine I was somebody else, because I put the new lipstick on and the perfume, and I'd like literally make up this entire new life in my head that I was somebody else who wasn't bothered about flying. And that's how I got through all the flights that I had to do. I like split my personality, which is probably quite tragic, but it's like, this is this kind of situation. Why don't you experiment with experiment tonight with the devil and the Ace of Cups? No, experiment with being that half of yourself that feels not as comfortable as the place where you normally inhabit, if you see what I mean. I'm getting deep now. Just like the devil and the Ace of Cups. Oh, don't go back there. Right, let's move on. We're going to go for number 8. Yes, we are. We're going to go for number 8. We have got the Tower reversed and we've got the Chariot reversed. So, what do we have here? These are tricky cards. Tricky cards. What do these mean? The Tower, it's another one of those cards that people like are literally like, no, not the Tower, let's run screaming. But you don't need to, because there is nothing to fear from the tarot. It's all about reflecting your life back to you. Whatever, the tarot doesn't make anything happen, does it? It just reflects back to you what's already happening. And what we've got here is we've got the Tower. When it's up this way, it's like this tower you'll see on the illustration. This is actually being hit by lightning and it crumbles to the ground, and there are people like leaping from it, and you know, they're having to sort of hot-foot it out of the burning building, and the tower is reduced to rubble, okay? Because sometimes you need to raise something to the ground and rebuild from firmer foundations. You need to knock something down in order to rebuild it. Deanne, I'm leaving you hanging. Which one did you choose? Which I thought you'd chosen number 11, was it not? Was it number 9? I think it might have been number 9. I'm not going to do that last because I always tend to do number 9 last without trying to. So we'll probably go there next. So back to number 8. Yeah. So sometimes things need knocked to the ground, don't they? You need to knock it down and start again. Isn't there a song that says that? I can't remember what the song is. If you tell me what the song is, I'll sing it. So when we see the tower up this way, what we're looking at is a situation that needs to be knocked down to the ground and started again, but you're hanging around expecting it to be okay, and it isn't. All right. Now that is also indicated, that is echoed with the Chariot reversed, because this is stagnation. When the Chariot's up that way, it's like, yeehaw, let's ride the Chariot, right, as fast as we can through the middle of everybody, and we won't stop and we won't look round. But when it's upside down like that, it's like your wheels fell off, mate. Like, you are not driving forward. So you're stuck in a situation that you need to burn to the ground. Not literally, please don't set fire to your house or partner, for that matter, or anything for that matter. But something needs to change and something needs started again. It's like hanging around isn't going to make it change. Yeah, you need to just like put your big pants of no specific gender on and change things. Yeah, you might need to knock things down. Oh, my mum's ringing me. She mustn't be watching me. So you need to go back to this situation, get out of your Chariot and knock it down to the ground. All right, you need to start again with something. You need to start again. Yeah, and once you've put this right, you can get back in your Chariot and carry on. Now, the good thing with the Chariot card is whichever way up it is, it's a really strong card. It's a card of strength. You know, I briefly mentioned it when the card Strength came out before, with the lady with the lion's jaws, yeah, tickling the lion's jaws, which is sort of gentle strength. The Chariot is brute strength. So it's about having that ability to push through, okay? with it being upside down, and this tower card here, it's saying you need to knock something down and start again, but Christ, you've got the strength to do it, okay? Allow yourself, trust yourself to have that strength to do this, okay? Because you can do it. And it's going to take a lot of strength to rebuild, but when you rebuild on firmer foundations, you end up with a better tower, better building, better whatever it is. So identify what your tower is, find it, and go demolition derby on it, is what we have to say to that. Okay, let's go to, we'll just go straight to number 9 for Deanne. Right, Deanne, we have got for you the World reversed and the King of Swords. So these are interesting cards, okay? So we've got an air sign, potentially an air sign, male, or could be a female, the male characteristics of that female. Usually a male. King of Swords, like his counterpart, the Queen of Swords, is a natural leader. It's somebody who's good with their voice, good with communication. Could be an air sign, so a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Somebody with those traits, somebody who's a good communicator, but somebody who's very powerful. The King of Swords is like, he could be the CEO of a big business, or somebody who's just got that aura of like complete, like, I'm in control of this, okay? So it's somebody who's very powerful, who's in your surrounding at the moment, okay? Potentially an air sign or somebody with those traits, yeah? So that's our King of Swords. Now, the World upside down, that's an interesting card, because if I was looking at the card this way up, this is a great card, the World. Whichever way up, it's a good card. But this is about karma and completion and cycles completing. It's like joyful, because look, joyful dancing, because she's finished. I say she, but it's actually traditionally a hermaphrodite on the tarot, on the World card. This one looks more female, I think, but traditionally it's a hermaphrodite. Dancing because they've completed the cycle of something. And remember, when one door closes, the next one opens. So they've like finished something off and they're waiting to start something new. With this being upside down, and when teaming it with the King of Swords here, it feels like something to do with this guy, this leader. It's not finished yet. There's unfinished business that's going to have to be finished before the cycle completes. Yeah. So there's something that needs put right with this, I want to say gentleman. That just sounds so middle-aged, doesn't it? What do I say? Guy? Bloke? Dude? This fella. There's something needs put right with this person before you can complete the cycle, before karma has completed, before you're ready to move on to the next sort of, I think of life as in like, it's a series of little journeys, isn't it? And each one has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Beginning, a middle, and end. Sometimes we've got several journeys going on at the same time, yeah? Or sometimes we just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. But this one in particular, this little sort of, why am I seeing a train on a track? This little train on a track thing here is sort of stuck. It's like it's not completing. It keeps like going, error, error, error. There's something that needs to happen with this man, bloke, chava person, in order for things to be right, for that, the universal balance to be achieved, for, you know, when I guess it's a karmic thing, isn't it? When things are put right, when the balance of the universe is restored, yeah? Something needs to happen with this person for the balance to be restored in order for a cycle to finish, for you to move on, okay? Now, this could be somebody from your past. It could be somebody that you haven't even met, you know, because, like, I always say, like, time is a human construct, isn't it? It's like that sort of, right, that was in the past, the present is now, the future, haven't even been there yet. But that's a very human construct, because I think in spirit, everything is like spread out like a great big map that you're just looking at from above, and you can see the past, the present, and the future all at once. So it could be that this is somebody that you haven't even met yet, but something needs to happen with them. It could be that there's a past life association. So maybe you meet somebody and it's like the need that it was destined for you to meet, because something needs to be put right between you in order for a karmic cycle to complete, in order for the universal balance to be achieved. These are deep cards, yeah? These are deep cards. So look out for that if you chose number 9, Deanne. And let me know how that resonates, or if that resonates, or if that, I'd love to hear that in the next couple of days you were like, that's what that situation's about. So let me know if that happens. That was number 9. Where are we going next? We shall go to, I think this is our last one, because that was our Devil and the Ace of Cups, which I turned over because I couldn't stop laughing at them. So it's our last one, and it is number 5. Number 5 is alive. Number 5, what do you have for us? Be good cards. Not great cards. It is the Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Right, what do these cards mean? Ace of Pentacles reversed. Something that sort of started but then didn't really get off the ground. Something that, I'm just reading Deanne's comments. Don't think I've met them. Looking at the air signs. Air signs, Deanne, or somebody with air sign traits, because that's not a cop-out, because when you say somebody is an air sign, you're usually referring, of any sign, you're referring to their sun sign. But if somebody has, for example, say if somebody had their sun in Libra, no, let's say somebody had their sun in Pisces, right? But then they had a stack of really heavy planetary influences, the moon, their ascendant, and Venus, for example, in an air sign, in Libra, Aquarius, or wherever, then they would have more air sign traits, because on balance, even though you would refer to them as a water sign, as a Pisces, they would be more airy in nature because of where their planets were, because the planets have got a weighting. W-E-I-G-H-T, not W-A-I-T. So either an air sign person or somebody who has those traits is an easier way of putting it. So somebody who's sharp, witty, communicator, leader. Okay? Right. Back to number 5. Number 5. So we've got something that didn't get off the ground. Ace of Pentacles, traditionally associated with new business ventures, new jobs, new financial opportunities. When we've got this reversed, it's like something didn't start, or something that you hoped for didn't come off, like you didn't get the job or something like that. Or, you started a business and it flopped, or you thought that you were going to have a new venture, a new financial possibility, and it just fell flat on its arse. Okay, that's your Ace of Pentacles. Now that really corresponds with the Wheel of Fortune reversed, because that's like, it's a bit of bad luck that's caused this. Okay, it feels like something hasn't got off the ground, and it feels like fate perhaps dealt you something that you didn't feel you deserved. Yeah, you thought that things could have gone a lot better. Now, whenever the Wheel of Fortune shows up, remember, it's always turning. It's always turning. So it feels like whatever this venture was, it's not been like, bang, there's some bad luck, have that. It wasn't meant to be. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune is about destiny, and it's about achieving what you're supposed to at the right time. So if this has gone wrong, right, if something's gone wrong for you, if something didn't happen that you expected to happen, doesn't necessarily have to be a business. Aces can be the beginning of anything. Could even be a relationship, yeah? If it didn't happen, if it didn't get off the ground, it wasn't what was supposed to be for you, yeah? That's what these cards are saying. That Wheel of Destiny is a really important card. Remember, it's a major arcana, so it's going to trump this ace all day long, okay? It's upside down because it's like saying, okay, you feel like you've had bad luck, But that Wheel of Fortune goes round and round and round and round. And it's like, again, it brings us to the theme of today, which is balance and integration. You never realize what light and goodness is if everything is light and goodness. You have to have those disappointments in order to appreciate when things go really right. Okay, so take it on the chin if something didn't get off the ground, or if something wasn't what you expected. All right, because you're meant for something else. Something else is supposed to happen. This was the wrong path for you. Let's put that way up. This was the wrong path. I love that Ace of Pentacles card because I like looking at that hand coming out the cloud. It's like, it was you. It's like, this is your opportunity. And when it's upside down, it's like, this was not your opportunity. This was not for you, child. So move on. And it's echoed with that Wheel of Fortune reversed. This was not your destiny. So I'm just reading what Katz has said there. Yes, the Pythastral. We're going to go back to the Pythastral. Do you know, I'm still writing the Pythastral book because, like, I'm sure I've mentioned it. Like, I was reading the, I've been writing my book on Pythastral Tarot for a while, and I finished it and then like went back to it, and there's so many things that I wanted to improve, and I was like, no, I want to be finished out of it because I'm so impatient. But then I thought, no, I must do it properly rather than just try to push it out just because I want it to be ready. So I'm reworking some bits of the Pythastral book. But that doesn't mean to say that I can't do some Pythastral readings, because I'm going to do that. Now, somebody contacted me the other day and said, have I got that PDF ready that I was going to give you with the Pythastral stuff on it? And I haven't. That's what I'm coming to, is because I'm reworking the Pythastral book. It's taken a little bit longer than I envisioned. So, and that's not about me not doing the readings. It's about the actual how I've described it in the book. Like, I wanted to make it easier to follow, so I'm still working on that. So I will get the PDFs ready, and I think I'm just going to do them in little parts, so to encourage viewers to view the channel. But yes, we're going to go back and we're going to do Pythastral because that is my baby and I love it, and it is so spot on. And I also, like, what do you think of this? Like, I'm excited by it, but I might be a bit strange. Like, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do like the Pythastral of like serial killers and see what their Pythastral chart actually says about them, to see if I can work out where they actually sort of went wrong. So put a 1 in the chat if you think I should Pythastral some serial killers, and put a 2 in the chat if you just think that's just too weird and I should do nice things instead. It takes about 17 seconds for the chat to come through. So I shall just twiddle my thumbs while you put a 1 or a 2. So 1 for serial killers, 2 for nice things. Yay! Yay! 1s! I love it! Right. Awesome. Brilliant. That's what I needed to hear. So we're going to do some Pythastral serial killer stuff. Definitely. Nobody's put any 2s. Ha 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 ha. I love it. You're all as dark as me. So with that, I think we are at the end of tonight's little stream. I've only been on an hour and a half. I feel like Sam 1 and 2. Yeah, actually, yeah, 1 and 2. So I won't just keep it as serial killers, because that would be just really weird, wouldn't it? We'll do serial killers, but also nice things as well. But lots of serial killers. Light and shade, exactly, Cats. It's all about the balance, isn't it? So we'll have some dark serial killers and then some nice nuns and things and Bambis. Not nuns and Bambis, just other nice things. So I hope that you have enjoyed tonight as much as I have, because I really have. It has been awesome to be back. Yes, Pedro, I will do some personal readings. I didn't ask for any questions tonight, did I? I totally forgot. We'll do it next time. So I hope to see you next time. Please make sure you've subscribed to the channel and like the stream and share it, even if you know people that might enjoy the same weirdness that you do. Don't share it with anybody that thinks it's crap, because they'll just bring bad energy. Yeah, and I'll let you know when the next live will be. I sort of didn't want to say, right, I'm back to doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to do this and then like not have the energy to do it. So I thought, right, I'm going to try tonight and see how it goes. But like, I feel like I've maintained the energy. And it seems like it's gone okay. I don't think I've made too much of an arse of things. Like, I can't remember how to use Prism, but you know, that'll come back to me. So I'll let you know when the next live is. It won't be very long. I'm not going to like leave it ages. Like, I'm just wondering whether to do one on Friday. I don't want to overcommit and say I'll do one on Friday and then think, oh God, like I'm too tired. So I might be back on Friday, but if not, definitely like early next week. So make sure you've subscribed and put your notifications on, and then you will know when I'm going to be on. Now, also, I did think, right, if I'm going to start doing Pythastro serial killers and that, I need to not wear myself out doing 3 lives a week, and maybe keep the lives down and then just do some content as well on the Pythastro, like pre-recorded videos, which aren't as much fun, I've got to say. But with Pythastro, it's going to be easier to do pre-recorded because there's a lot of working out goes on behind, and it's like, but I suppose I could do that outside of the live, couldn't I? And then just do the sort of, yeah, I'll have to think about how to do that. We might be able to do a bit of a hybrid of the two. Tather Bear, where have you been? You haven't been here all night. You're just rocking in at the end. Like the style. Yes, I think we're done. I'll let you know when the next live is. Thank you for being here. It's been marvellous. You've all been wonderful. Thank you for entertaining me with the chat. You're all fabulous. Have a good night, Just Shard and Stu. Hope that works out well for you. Let me know how that goes. And I'll see you next time. Stay weird.